Right, hello. Right, so the title of this one, well, for the email, is Are You Switching Off? And so, before I start to talk about this, I just want to issue a huge warning. And I am being a little bit dramatic here, but the warning is that this is a long one. It is long. I started writing this, and then, oh man, I just couldn't stop writing. I was just writing loads, and then I thought to myself, oh my god, maybe I should shorten this email and make it into maybe 2 or 3 emails because it seems to be going on and on and on. But I just needed to get it out. I just needed to get it out. I needed to write it in this particular way. So, warning, it is a long one, but I think it's an important one. So, I'm sending apologies, but I think it's going to be worth it anyway. So, right. So I'm harping on with this one. I'm harping on about GI foods. And the reason why I'm harping on about GI foods is due to stress. Well, obviously that's why you're here. So that's why I'm harping on about it. And to be precise, I'm harping on about GI foods and your sympathetic nervous system. Right. So just to kind of help you to understand about their sympathetic nervous system. So we need time. From time to time, we need help just to deal with life, right? So constantly we're getting things thrown at us daily. I mean, up to this point, I've had to, at this point, where I'm recording this in the morning, I've had to get myself ready, get myself sorted with breakfast, get my daughter ready, which has been a chore this morning, and do all these sort of things, then get her to school, and then come back, and then I'm jumping on here and then I'm recording this, and then later I'll have more tasks to do. I'll be going out teaching today. So yeah, there's all these like steps and things that we have to do. So, it might be like I've just said, get ourselves ready, take a shower, travel to work, do tasks at work, clean our houses, do errands, go grocery shopping, eat, drink, sleep, and on and on and on and on and on. And so there's tons of stuff that we have to be doing on a daily. And so I think, yeah, you get my point, don't you? Yeah, there's so much stuff that we have to do, and it does get quite overwhelming with all these things that we have to do, and at times we don't want to do it, or we're forced to do it. I think that's the big thing for me, feeling that I'm forced to have to do a lot of these things. So we need help just to cope. And this is the role of the sympathetic nervous system. So just to juggle all those things around, we need the nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system, to help us out with that. And the sympathetic nervous system is a stress detector, which signals to the brain to produce stress hormones to help us out. So stress hormones are not a bad thing. We need them to help us out. And we need stress hormones to help us out with whether we need to fight something or to run away from something. Even just to cross a road, we need stress hormones to help us out. It's that thing like life or death. Like, if I now cross the road now, is that car going to kill me? And so we have to have this judge of what's going on, and we need the sympathetic nervous system to help us out. So we're doing this all the time. This sympathetic nervous system is always kicking in just to help us out to do things, right? So I've used a scenario here. Hopefully this will help you with understanding the sympathetic nervous system. And you might kind of relate to it, because you might think, wow, God, this is happening to me like 20 times a day. This is happening to me constantly. So picture this. We both work at a coffee shop, right? And we're tasked to make a customer a skinny latte. So you take the order, and then I make the drink. And then I put the wrong milk in the latte, and I use full fat milk, and we don't spot it. And yeah, that's something that possibly could happen, if I'm not trained. But then the customer sips on the latte, and then she loses it, absolutely loses it. And she's shouting at me, she's shouting at you, she's hurling abuse at both of us. So how are you going to react to that? Right, so for me, and this is kind of my character, I would apologise profusely. So I would really, say how sorry I am about it. And most likely for me, in an hour or so, it's probably gone out of my mind. Like, I do get told that I'm so relaxed about things and laid back about things, like too laid back. So yeah, I'll probably take it on, and then in the moment kind of deal with it, apologize to the lady, and then yeah, I most likely will have forgot about it. But I appreciate that not everybody is like me. So for you, it might be that you can't switch off from that situation, right? So it's bothering you. You talk to your work colleagues about it non-stop. You know, there are people that are like that. That's possibly not me, but that's not, you know, I'm not judging anybody to say if that's, you know, that's how they are. But yeah, probably that you can't stop talking about it. It's bothering you so much. You get home and then you talk to your family about it non-stop. Then you're on your phone to your friend, and then you tell her about it the next day, and then the following day, and the following day, and the following day, and it keeps going on and on and on. And then you tell your dentist, and you check out lady at the supermarket about 3 days later. And I am exaggerating here, but it's just to get the point across that, you know, you might be a type of person that you just can't switch off. Now, for me, I'll be honest here, that I'm the type of person that maybe verbally I can't switch off. No, sorry, maybe verbally I can switch off, and I can switch off from certain situations, but there are certain situations which possibly I'm not the best at talking those things out, but it is stressing me out, and there's things that I might be thinking about, but then it might come out in my body, and that's the signs that maybe that this thing is actually bothering me, you know. And I mean, I'm being very trivial with this like situation here when it comes to like this coffee shop scenario, but it could be things that even be dealing with your illness. You might not be talking about it, or you might try and switch it off from your mind, but it's actually there, and it's actually ticking away. Or it might be, you know, I'm being very open now. You know, I lost my dad last year, and a huge character, you know, and it's been quite difficult switching off. I have been trying to like, I'm being so honest. So I have been trying to kind of switch off from things, but it's still there, you know, the loss, you know, the dealing with bereavement, it's still there, and it's really hard, even though you're kind of telling yourself, I'm dealing with this okay, but maybe in some ways you're not. So anyway, going back to what I was talking about. So yeah, can you think of like scenarios, like I've just mentioned one there with my dad, you know, are there things that are going on that you're finding very difficult to switch off? And the thing is, if you are, and you might be thinking, I'm dealing with this okay, but your sympathetic nervous system is aware of it, even though you're saying to yourself, I'm coping all right with this, but you know, you're not in some ways. Yeah, the sympathetic nervous system, it just keeps producing more and more stress hormones, and every time you think about the situation, or talk about the situation, see, it's not even just talking, you know, just having to think about it and not being able to switch off, or not allowing your body time to switch off, then the sympathetic nervous system just keeps kicking in. And it's kicking in, like I said, for anything. So it's even things like getting in your car and having to drive somewhere. Now, there's all the things that you've got to be aware of, being aware of, you know, the other drivers and people cutting you up, and all sorts of things. Like, how do you react to that? So even though your sympathetic nervous system is there continually like helping you to get to your destination, but if you're continually alarmed or get alerted by other drivers and, you know, having this road rage, then you're hiking it even more, you know, you're making it even worse, right? So do you experience similar situations in your life, and how often are you in stress mode? Okay, now, like I've said already, the sympathetic nervous system, it's a good thing, you know, we need it. Like, we probably wouldn't get a lot of things done, because, you know, if we didn't have the sympathetic nervous system sort of guiding us. You know, we need a bit of stress, we need things like that just to get things done. You know, we need a bit of fear sometimes just to get things done, and like the sympathetic nervous system is kind of helping us out to like conquer that in some ways. But where it's not so good is that when it's always switched on, it's flooding your body with too many stress hormones. And like I've said before, stress hormones are also linked with raising other hormones. Okay, now to add to this, and yeah, get ready for this one. To add to this, fellow PCOS warrior, as women with PCOS, we are naturally sensitive to switching the sympathetic nervous system on. And I'll say it again, we are naturally sensitive to switching the sympathetic nervous system on. I know, another thing that is not fair. And in my email, I did use an expletive, but I won't say it here. But yeah, it's just annoying. Annoying, isn't it? And in my email, I said, scream with me. So if you want to scream at this point, I don't mind. You can even like switch me off, have a scream, and then come back on. And then I'll continue talking. So if you want to pause it now, pause, then go off, scream, and then come back. Anyway, so if you have done that and you're back, good. You've got that out, right? You've got it out. So yeah, if you remember from the other emails and from the other videos that I've done for this portal, GI stands for glycemic index. So glycemic index is the measure of how quickly a particular food raises your blood glucose levels. And when blood glucose levels rise, guess what switches on? I'll give you a bit of time. Guessed yet? Yeah, guessed it. Sympathetic nervous system. That switches on as well. Now, how's that fair? So you might be thinking, does this mean that I don't even need to be stressed out to be stressed? And if that's what you're thinking, you are correct. We don't need to be experiencing stress just because of what we've got going on in our bodies as being PCOS sufferers. We don't need to be stressed because everything's so heightened already. So that's why it's really important that you are doing things to lower this internal stress that we can't feel, we can't kind of see. You've got to do a lot of things to kind of lower that, what's going on there. And so when it comes to the checklist, I would say if you can concentrate on that particular page where talking about GI foods, talking about sugar, it's really important if you can kind of start with, like I said, don't do everything. I'm going to keep saying this throughout, don't do everything. But if we can start with working with like 1 or 2 things, it would really help. Would really help, because if we can lower down what's going on internally, especially when it comes to sugar, when it comes to blood sugar levels, when it comes to insulin, if we can just reduce that, then we're reducing these other things as well. We're kind of lowering what's going to be happening with that sympathetic nervous system. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to tell you. Okay, so it feels like I've written and I've said so much, but it felt really good. It felt really good for me to be able to kind of get all that out. So I hope that it's been very helpful for you. So if you are going by emails and you're also listening to this as well, I'm going to be moving on to inflammation. So the next set of videos, next set of emails, if you're kind of listening to this with the emails as well, the next portion now will be inflammation. Okay, so we'll be moving on to that next. If you've managed to listen to all of this, I thank you. I thank you for getting to the end of all of this. But I do feel that it was an important one. I really thought it was important for me to kind of get that out and to share it with you. So anyway, you have a fantastic day. Signing off for now. You take care. Bye-bye. If you would like some ideas for things to try, then just click below this video. It will take you to a page which explains about a checklist that I've got for you. So this checklist is a PCOS and stress checklist, and it's listing ideas for diet, listing ideas for exercise and relaxation. So just giving you some ideas of things that you can try. Now the checklist is not there for you to be choosing a long list of things to be doing, but it might just help you to give you some ideas of things just to help you to get started. Okay, so if you are interested, just click underneath this video and you'll be taken to a page which explains more. Okay, bye-bye.